Kristin.
One thing to keep in mind, there are 6 gymnasts on each team. The top 5 scores count, so they'll drop the lowest score. And that's a very, very crucial part of collegiate gymnastics, especially. They really work toward putting that team unit together and pick up when they need to. If somebody else falters, they step right in and try and pick up the slack and not count a fall. All the coaches I talk to, their huge goal for this competition, they all want to hit 24 for 24, and very few teams have done that yet this year.
And that accounts, I think, for a lot of the dual losses that teams like UCLA have suffered through this year, despite being #1 in the country. You and I have always talked about the national rankings as being skewed in a little bit different way than you might know from other major sports.
Well, it's kind of like comparing apples to oranges when they're not in the same competition being judged at the same time. Somebody's scoring a certain score on the other end of the country, and you're comparing those two. It's hard to do. So the tendency is, too, they're trying to crank the scores up and just score really, really high, so they're all packed in there all at the same, in those 2/10 range between 9-8 and 10-0.
So now Kristin Jensen on the floor exercise. And you might notice here, incidentally, before we get too far into this, that the floor exercise mat is in the corner of Maples Pavilion here. Usually it's in the very center in almost any competition that you would go to, but there's a very good reason for its being where it is.
Huge controversy. This floor, the actual basketball floor, is spring-loaded. So when you put a spring-loaded floor on top of a spring-loaded floor, it creates, you would think that'd be great. Hey, send me through the roof on my tumbling. Actually, it almost kills your balance at times. And it's very dangerous to many of the coaches. And so they had a 3-hour meeting and got it moved over to the side where it's a little bit better.
But still, like right where Kristin is now, right about the free throw line of the basketball court. So there's more spring on one side than there would be on the other. Can it cause you to over-rotate? I would imagine.
It depends. As I said, sometimes if you've ever bounced on a trampoline and had your bounce killed, you just stop. You get no height. Or you can get double bounce and sent flying. At the top, one of their top all-arounders is out temporarily with an injury. And so we're going to see a lot of gymnasts filling in those spots.
Saw a real bobble right there.
And it's not a bad thing to get them some experience just in case they have to step in a big situation like the Parkettes.
So Kristin Jensen, and we will, of course, get her score for you just as soon as it's available. And I think we'll see that little bobble that will cost her.
Many things that judges look for on the floor exercise, and first and foremost, good landings. And as you said, that is definitely a slight bobble backwards. They look for good, clean lines, amplitude, height on those leaps. Just got a little bit low on those jumps at the end of the routine when you're getting a little bit tired.
Yeah, that last tumbling run, no fun, is it?
It just depends on how good a shape you're in.
I guess that's right.
Early in the season, it's no fun.
Yeah.
Later in the season, when you're getting in much better routine shape, a little easier.
So Kristin Jensen awaiting her score, as are we.
The judges first determine the start value score of the routine based on the level of difficulty, the required elements, and they're all striving to have that all-important 10 value. Most of the routines at this level, I'd say most of them value out at 10.0. But if they miss an element, then they don't even get their start value score, and so they might start from a 9.9 or a 9.8.